What's going on YouTube? It's James with Shyhammer Fantasy Battle Reports, and I got Game 3 of the Blood in the Dojo tournament. Anyways, guys, so if you kept up with me, round 1, well, basically every game in this tournament has only gone about 4 rounds, but the first round, I played against Brian. I got a small win, which ended up turning into a draw after objectives. The second game I played was a small win turned into a draw or a small win after objectives. Then the third game I play right now is against the Fergus family. Little Fergus and Big Fergus, I guess, both the Ferguses, they're actually in contention for first place. I believe they are in third right now, but not by much. They could potentially win the whole thing if he tables me, which means I have a chance if I could table my opponent. You know, that's basically what it comes down to. I'm more or less right now, like running on like 6th place or 5th place, something like that, around there. Anyways, so I have a chance. I have a good chance right now. I gotta make sure I don't get tabled. I gotta make sure that I play a good game and see how my units do. And then, anyways, let's go over what we have here. So my opponent, this is we're gonna say Fergus Jr.'s army, because Fergus Sr.'s army is Highborn Elves. But Fergus Jr. brings out his, on the left you can see that's a level 2 Shaman, not a great Shaman, just a regular Shaman. Then he also has another level 2 Shaman over here. I'll pull up another picture in a minute. But anyways, he has his BSB, who's for hire, obviously, as you can see on his sign. And he also has a Goblin that's wanted on that sign. That's actually a very well done BSB. I think that's really cool. Anyways, he has his BSB there, who has like some Yeti fur or something else, I don't remember. And then he has his general, the big Great Khan. And the Great Khan is... I don't know exactly what armor they brought out. I do remember a couple of things. I think he does have Kadali's Maul, which does like that D3 wound shit, whatever. Anyways, over here you can see his units. He has on the left, that's going to be a huge block, and I mean a huge block of tribesmen. I mean, it was probably like, I think like 10 or 12 tribesmen. And then in the middle, that's his unit of Iron Guts. Actually, I think I might have it in reverse. I do have it in reverse. The Iron Guts, the Bruisers, are on the left. The unit in the middle is his tribesmen. He looks like he has 8 tribesmen, but then he's going to have the characters in there, which pushes it over 10. And then on the right, he has his veteran mercenaries on the right. They have Swift Stride and I believe Poison with Iron Fists. And then, as you can see, he has 3 Saber Kitties in the background. As for my side, if you've been catching on to what I've been bringing so far... Oh, wait, I take it back. Here's his other side. It's not over. It's not over. He has his Rockhorn over here, which he kept on calling the Ragnarok. I don't know why he kept on calling it the Ragnarok. It's a Rockhorn. And then the guys in the back... Oh, those are Cannoneers. He has 6 Cannoneers. And those guys actually kind of scare me because they get a lot of shots. And then for my side, I guess I have to pull up... I'll just show you this picture right here. This long far picture, you can kind of see we lined up battle line. On the far left, all the way over there, looks like a giant dragon. That is my proxy for my Gargantula. It's my Gargantula. They call it the Mega Chicken Rock. I do have 3 War Machines. 2 of them are... I want to say I brought 2 Splatterers, 1 Git Launcher. I do have my War Boss Dread Iron Tooth, which is a Orc Warlord on a Wyvern. I do have 20 crossbow wielding Orcs with heavy armor. I do have a level 2 Shaman with them as well. Goblin Shaman, and then I have another level 2 Goblin Shaman in the unit of small goblins. I do have a block of savages, about 36 savages, I want to say, with extra hand weapons, the big Stabadon, and all that jazz, and I do have the original A-Rock in the middle there. Now, one thing is, during deployment, I put down the crossbow because I knew I wanted them there. I put down the War Machine spread out. I figured whatever. I put the one spider on this one side, and then I put the Ragnarok down and the Goblins down before I put the Savages down. The main reason why is I want the Savages to go for his Iron Guts. I already played enough games against my brother to know the Savages will tear up, and I mean tear up some Iron Guts. They're only weapon skill 3. They're only 5 up armor. So my Savages are going to go nuts, get basically hit on 3s, wound on 3s, and everything I hit and wound just goes straight through. Unless he got off like a regen spell or something like that. So he decides to, he puts his Iron Guts down as like one of the last units, and I'm like, shit, I didn't leave myself enough room for my Horde tray to fit in there, so I had to put my Savages in rank and file, to get them in between the Arachnarok and the Goblins to just try to go for those Iron Guts. Koopa is on the field. I think he's out of the pitcher's view right now. But basically, Koopa was meant to just go around and flank and deal with whatever. He does have that rock horn that kind of intimidates me because he could just ram into whatever I have, and I really will lose combat just based on that. And it's hard to hurt. It's hard to wound. So I got to figure a way to get rid of that. And then he has this Death Star that I really didn't have an answer for. I mean, I could try to hit him with the Savages. I could try to hit him with both A-Rocks. But he has his General in there who is really beefy and it's going to have a hard time dealing with. So I couldn't really just, dedicate anything to his tribesmen. The way I had to figure it out is beat him without touching his tribesmen, more or less. As you can see, that's Fergus Jr., a very blurry Fergus Jr. He does get soft cover bonuses for being blurry, as well as his dad, William Fergus. As you can see, this is how the table looks, and we're going to go into, he did deploy his army. He did drop like half of his army before I finished dropping mine, so he's going to take off first turn. He did get magic spells. Let me go over that really quick before I go over to turn 1. He has Bone Crusher and Troll Heart with this guy, and then the other guy got Brain Slurper and Teeth Cracker. I got Sneaky Stabbing, Gift of the Mother Spider, Fireball, and then I got 2 Evil Eyes, and I forgot what the last spell I got was. Anyways, turn 1, Ogre Cons. Let's get this going, guys. Let's see how fun this could be. Alright, so first off, he does move up his Saber Kitties like so. He's moving up his units, of course, because that's what he needs to do. He needs to push me. And as you can see, this is how it looks. Magic Face, he got 8 Power Dice. He goes ahead and he throws up Bone Crusher onto my General. And, I wasn't too scared of this spell. I was like, go ahead, whatever. It's going to do what it's going to do. But he goes ahead and he gets it through. I think I tried to dice him out. And I didn't put too much faith in it, and I didn't really want to throw all these dice on it to stop it. It goes off, and it ends up doing 2 wounds to my General on turn 1, and I was just like, holy shit! That fucking sucks. I think it was like a bunch of Strength 1 or Strength 2 hits, and I was like, my guy's tough 5, but however many he gets off, whatever. But he did get 2 wounds off through my ward save. I was like, oh shit, that really sucks. Anyways, he goes ahead and he throws up Troll Guts on the tribesman. I let it go through, and then he goes in and he throws up another one to give him like +1 strength, and at this point I'm just like, I'm not even gonna bother touching that unit this turn. That unit could stay super souped up as long as they're not remaining play spells. I'm not gonna bother with it. He goes into Shooting Phase. Shooting Phase, he shoots the Cannoneers at my Crossborks, kills off 3 of them, and then that's about it. That was all his shooting. That was all his turn. It's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins turn 1. And Koopa on turn 1, charging the fucking kitty that's coming around the corner. He decides to flee, and the kitty goes that way, which chaffs up Koopa for a turn. Magic Phase got 8 Power Dice. I did very minimal moving. I did... Guys, I apologize. There's a lot less pictures in this video than I normally do. Probably like 100 pictures less in this video because it was the last game of the tournament, and the dojo has to close at midnight, and we're just trying to hurry up so we get everybody's prize money out and just call it a day. So there's a lot less pictures. I apologize. But anyways, Magic Phase got 8 Power Dice. I go ahead and I throw up Evil Eye, and he lets it go off because he's like, that's a high cast, go ahead, you got another Evil Eye in your pocket, whatever, right? So he lets it go off, and I go ahead and I just did the small version, which was like 2d6 or 3d6. I think it was 2d6. I did the 2d6 one. And look at this horrible roll. 1, 1, 2, 2. That's just god awful. Didn't wound a goddamn thing. I go ahead and I throw another Evil Eye. He stops that one. And then I go ahead and I do this. And I throw up Gift of the Mother Spider onto my Crossborks. He didn't see it right away, but then he'll see it in the next turn, which is Shooting Phase. Shooting Phase, I shoot the rest of the Crossborks, which is 17 of them, right at his rock horn. And blah, blah, 2 poison shots went through. I think I got actually 3 poison shots, but he armor saved one of them. And he's just like, ooh, that's a nasty combo. And so I go ahead and I do this guy here. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the web launcher. I shoot it at his main block, and it actually, I don't have a picture of it, but it hits the main block, and it doesn't do a single wound, but it webs them, and that'll mess up his charge on the next turn. Over here, I got these goblins with short bows. They're going to shoot at the man-eaters. They do 1 wound onto the man-eaters. I go ahead and I shoot this first rock lobber. It misfires. I shoot the other rock lobber and other doom diver, and they did nothing of note. It's going to start off turn 2, Ogre Cons. Turn 2, he's charging in this unit here, and he actually gets the charge off, I believe, and he takes 2 wounds. But the thing is, this is dangerous terrain. No, he's not charged. He marches. I'm sorry. I think he... Well, let's find out in a second. I'll find out in 2 seconds. Actually, I think he did charge. Did he charge? Trying to figure this out. No, he didn't. He marched. After he marched, I called him out on it, and I said, you have the web on? And he's like, shit. So he takes the DTs, and he takes 2 dice for each ogre. And the only 2 ogres that got wounded was his general and his shaman. Oh my god, that's hilarious. He's like, are you serious? He failed his ward and everything. Those are the only 2 that took wounds. Magic Phase, he got 11 power dice. He obviously moved up, but he couldn't do much else besides move up. So he goes ahead and he throws up again this tough +1 toughness. I let it go through. He throws up this +1 strength. I let it go through. He throws up the regen. I let it go through. I am not charging this unit. I'm not touching this unit. I understand, Fergus. I am not going for them. You could throw up all you want on them. These guys over here, they're going to start shooting their cannons at me, and they end up killing off 2 more of my crossborks. And that's about it. It's going to start off my turn 2. My turn 2, he used this freaking dog as chaff. He uses this saber kitty as chaff. And I'm like, you know what? It's in my way. I can't let the savages go through. The savages would have had a wonderful charge into his iron guts at this moment, but that fucking cat's in my way, so I figure I could terror check him, make the cat run out of the way, and then have the savages go through, right? No. I charge him, he passes his 5 or 4 or whatever it was panic check, and he sits there like a champ. Son of a bitch, man. So I'm just gonna have to take that charge just for face value, what it is. I moved Dread, or on the previous turn, I moved Dread over here onto the flank, and I think this is why he buffed up his tribesmen, obviously, was to make sure that Dread doesn't charge in that unit. Alright, so I decided, you know what, he didn't really see this, and this is why he's buffing up, but he did not see this, and I saw it from his turn of moving. Dread could fly into the flank of that Rockhorn, and honestly, I was like, the worst case scenario right now, though, is I fail it. If I fail it, Dread's falling short, and he's going to sit there right there and just take an ass kicking from those guys. But I was like, fuck it, no guts, no glory. I'm charging into the Rockhorn, and Dread connects in, actually. The Chicken Rock here charges into the flank of his Lead Belchers, and he's like, oh, shit, didn't even see that building coming from behind the building. So he decides to flee, and he gets away because of the flea. He flees far as hell. And so, like I said, Dread got in. The A-Rock got in. Everybody else is kind of still sitting back. I ended up moving the Shaman out of the unit of crossborks to get him out of danger. Magic Face, don't even have the power dice, but I shoot a fireball, 1 dice fireball into this guy, and into one of the cats that was coming behind the building. And little Fergus is like, Dad, we gotta stop that. And Big Fergus is like, no. Let him kill the cat. The cat's only 35 points. And little Fergus is like, Dad, I have a chance of winning $50. And if that cat costs me the $50, I'm mad at you. Oh, that line had me cracking up. Honestly, this whole game had me cracking up. I mean, Fergus, I think every time I play Fergus, I'm cracking up, to be honest. He's just, he's a funny guy, man. Anyways, so I ended up shooting the fireball, kills it, burns the shit out of this cat. We cook him and eat him for later. I use the other Shaman. I use the Evil Eye, kill off this cat. I'm just getting rid of cats everywhere. Fuck these cats. And then I go ahead and I throw up, he tried to stop, I think he stopped one of the Evil Eyes, then he goes ahead and lets this other Evil Eye through. But then, I did something that he didn't expect, which is, I threw up sneaky stabbing, sneaky slicing onto my general. And he's like, what does that do? I go, it's armor piercing. He has no more dice, he doesn't have a dispel scroll. So I go ahead and I'm like, it's armor piercing, but it gives me rerolls, hits, and wounds on a flank. And he's just like, you son of a bitch. I was like, alright. Shooting phase, I don't have a picture of the goblins, but the goblins shoot at these guys over here, the man-eaters, and they end up killing off one and doing another wound. I go ahead and I start shooting the rock lobber that works into these guys over here. It drifts off, ends up killing off one man-eater and one iron gut. I go ahead and I shoot the doom diver, and the doom diver kills off one more. I think I was shooting at the man-eaters, to be honest, but I ended up killing off one more iron gut. And then close combat, Dread just ate the fucking Rockhorn. I mean, ate him outright. Did not even give him a chance to attack. I got 9 or 10 attacks. 9 attacks because I don't have the Sword of Strife, but I did 9 attacks, all re-rolling to hits, all 3s. All I needed on both the dragon and him, and all the wounds go off. It was just disgusting with that spell, and I'm doing -4 armor. That spell is nasty when it works like this. Holy shit. Killed his Rockhorn. Nobody panicked. The other guys are still running anyways. I decide to hold back. And the reason why is if I charge into those lead iron guts, which hindsight 2020, I figured I actually might have lived. He was hitting me on 5s. On weapon skill 7. But all he needed was 2 wounds and he would have killed Dread. And, you know, strength 6, that's going through some of my armor. I didn't want to play with it. I just kind of left it as is. I was hoping the savages could finish off the job. Alright, so I just sit there and decide to just angle myself so I got a flank charge, a rear charge, or I could charge those running lead belchers. Turn 3, Ogre Cons. He's charging in here, and I'm just like, I can't do a goddamn thing about that. I knew that was coming. One thing I failed to do was move my war machines out of the way. So they're going to get charged, overrun, and hit my war machine. Over here, I did this with every intention to keep Koopa out of line of sight, but I made the major mistake. I don't know if he was bumped or what. I don't know what happened. I used the laser pointer and everything, but for whatever fucking reason, Koopa is in that line of sight of those man-eaters, and I was like, I swear to God, I put him out of the line of sight. I might have just did it for the squigs and just might have forgot the fact that Koopa was right there. But he ends up charging his man-eaters into Koopa, and I'm just like, well, I'm going to have to deal with that one face value. He charges his iron guts, a pretty decent charge, into the A-Rock. I'm going to stand and shoot. And bam, these guys got in, and these guys, everybody gets in, actually. Everybody gets in. His iron guts, his freaking tribesmen. These guys fail to rally still, and they continue to run. That is awesome. Magic Phase, he got 6 power dice. He goes ahead and he throws up Earth Gorger on these guys, which I think gives them, I don't know what the hell it gives them. Whatever, didn't matter. Goes ahead and he throws up Brain Slurper here, which does nothing to my A-Rock. I'm like, yeah, whatever, panic test. But then I realize it says units get hatred against this target, and that really sucks. Didn't see that one coming. Alright. And then close combat. Close combat, his tribesmen just I mean, they wreck the shit. I mean, out of it. Impact hits, his general, and his tribesmen all going before my orcs. They just wipe the floor out of all the orcs. They're going to overrun and hit the war machine, and that's going to happen like so. So, that's just pretty nasty. Over here, impact hits does 1 wound. A-Rock goes. A-Rock eats 2 of those son of a bitches. Just ate them. Fuck those 2 ogres. And he's going to go ahead and attack back, and he ends up getting so many attacks in, so many wounds in, and just destroys my A-Rock. He overruns, which clips the savages, which forces them to maximize, and he gets the overrun like so, and gets into my savages. Over here, Koopa kills one of the fucking man-eaters, not one, but he does another wound onto the other guy there. He's like, fuck you guys want to come at me? Come at me. And the thing is, these guys have poison and they're strength 5, so he goes ahead and he does a shit ton of attacks between the champ and the other guy. I think the champ alone gets like 6 attacks. And they ended up getting 2 wounds that went through. Those 2 wounds cost me so much because he has a charge, a banner, maybe a war banner I think it was, and then 2 wounds to my 4 wounds. I lose. Alright? It might have been a tie. I think he might not have the war banner and we just went 4-4. Either way, I lose. And I go ahead and roll, and Koopa cares. Koopa runs, and he runs off the table into this snowy land over there. And that sucks. I mean, that was just honestly a mistake of poor placement. I had Koopa coming around the flank. I was going to have those guys cornered. If they want to go for the goblins, let them go for the goblins. And then Koopa and the squigs will come up the rear, right? But, oh well. That happens. Turn 4, Orcs and Goblins. I think this is the last turn of the game. I think it is. So I decide, you know what? I'm going to keep trying to push these guys off the table. So I'm going to go ahead and charge them with Dread. They take their panic check. They run up the hill, which is probably like 5 or 6 inches, right? So Dread needed like double 6s to get to them. I'm like, I'm not even really going for that. I'm going for those Iron Guts. I'm going to kill out the Iron Guts. I'll win the game if I wipe out that unit, right? So I go for the redirect, and Dread fails the redirect roll. There's no BSB around. He's just way too far out of range of the BSB. So Dread has to charge those fucking lead belchers. It was like Nidhogg's like, we're going that way. And I was like, no, we need to help our friends out. And he's like, I don't want to do it. I want to go that way. I was like, son of a bitch. Oh man, so I need double 6s to get up on top of that hill there. I charged the goblins here into his flank of his Iron Guts that overran into my savages. I charged the Gnashers into the ass of those guys. I go ahead and I roll the dice. Of course, both of these guys get it. Just bam and bam, you know. I go ahead and I roll for Dread, and bam! Double 6s! Dread ate that whole unit of lead belchers. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's insane. I can't believe that even happened. Oh, man. And then this is basically how it looks over here. Now, I had the opportunity to potentially just move my War Machine out of the way, maybe. But the thing is, if he wipes out my Doom Diver and reforms to face my Savages, and I'm still there this next turn, I'm dead. I'll lose to his main bunker. Right? So I decided to leave the War Machine right in his way as chaff. He could overrun and he'll hit my other War Machine and keep another War Machine, or he could try to reform, but he will still hit my War Machine and he really can't reform. So I leave my other War Machine there as chaff. This is not the first time I've done this. It happens this way. Anyways, Magic Phase, I got 9 power dice. I go ahead and I throw up Stay Quiet on my whole army. Make them harder to hit because it's an aura from that little circle where the shaman is. And then I go ahead and I throw up Sneaky Stabbing on the freaking squigs. I go ahead and I throw up Gift of the Spider Gods onto my savages. Holy shit, these guys are all extremely buffed up with buffs and hexes. This is nasty. He challenges with his BSB. I accept with my champ here, and he ends up probably killing my champ. Yes, he does. He gets max wounds. My champ actually went first because this guy had a great weapon. I ended up doing 2 wounds to him. Holy shit. And then he just crushed my dreams. Anyways, his impact hits did 3 wounds. My impact hits just did like a couple wounds. My savages go, or my Gnashers go, they do a couple wounds. And actually, my Gnashers went and destroyed and killed his shaman. My Shady Gits go and they kill off a couple guys, and then my Savages go and they wipe the floor. I mean, wipe the floor of all the Iron Guts. They just destroyed that unit. You gave me poison. You gave me reroll to hits on the rear. You gave me a flank. Though that unit was just crushed. His BSB runs, I catch with everything, of course, and then the last turn of the game, he ends up killing my War Machine, overrunning into my next War Machine, and then we technically talked out turn 5 and 6. Turn 5 and 6 is him killing that War Machine, his Man-Eaters coming back on the table, and then I'm probably not going to engage this block because I won, so I just have to avoid him for 2 rounds, and we're just like, let's just call the game here. So it's an Orcs and Goblins victory. It was a decent-sized Orcs and Goblins victory, but it wasn't huge. Let me see what I had, actually. I have it on War Score somewhere. I think it was like a 13-7, actually, because I gave him my A-Rock. Poor A-Rock, man. She kind of got her ass kicked this whole tournament. It doesn't want to show up. Anyways, so I got a decent-sized victory. Alright, guys. So, unfortunately, little Fergus didn't win his $50. So I'm tallying up the scores. I'm trying to get out of the dojo at time. everybody's packing up their armies. I'm trying to write down all the scores, right? And I want to give out the money, and I want to do all this like in like 10 minutes. So I'm like hurrying through this whole process of entering scores in, making sure everybody turns in their papers, all that crap, right? I actually got all 3 wins, small wins, okay? I ended up in 4th place overall. 4th. I missed out by 1 point, or maybe 2. That 1 or 2 points cost me, or that 1 or 2 points was those fucking objectives of the damn telephone booth. If I would have picked up some objectives, I would have been in 1st or 2nd. If I would have hit the phone booth with my squigs, I would have been in 1st or 2nd. But I failed to do that. That sucks. Oh well. 3rd place, coming up from like table 5 or 6, is actually Dan, one of the highborn elf players that I always play against. He got 3rd place. He squeezed ahead by quite a few points, just like 2 or 3 points, and got ahead. And then 2nd place, which was the person we all expected to take first, was Ian. And Ian came with a new army to this time. He came with a Sylvan Elf army, and we were all like, he was the favorite. Like, he's gonna take first. He's gonna win it all, right? And he got, out of all our points, he got 47 points out of the three rounds. Okay. The person who took first place beat him by 1 point. He got 48 points. And that was my brother Jesse. Jesse came out of nowhere with his freaking Chaos Ogre army that you saw in the video I did right before this tournament. And he crushed 20-0s. And then, I know he got this last round. He got a 20-0. But he got pretty much good victories all 3 games. Most of the games didn't get to that 20-0 spot because they were so short. They were stopping on like turn 4 roughly. So there was a couple games he would have tabled his opponents, but he didn't because we ran out of time. He was so like, I could have had more, but he still won first place. He's livid as hell. He's loving it. He's like, I finally have a good army. Oh man, it's brutal. I was kind of like irritated that I took 4th place on this, just because it was a list that they wanted me to test out, kind of a deal. So I tested it out, and it did good. I mean, it did okay. And I would have probably won higher if, again, played out all 4 rounds. But maybe so did Dan and Ian too. So I don't know. Or maybe somebody in the lower tables might have done better. So I don't really know. It was an unfair assessment. They got small wins. It did its job, I guess. But anyways, guys, so I think I get one more game with this list, and then I ended up having to switch it around. The reason I'm switching out these lists, by the way, if you guys don't know, I'm going to ETC in Greece, and they want me to play test like so many different lists, and I mean, like, I roll my eyes by saying so many different lists because I've started playing Universal Battle. I know a couple of you guys who watch my videos actually should just seen my Universal Battle model that I made for Koopa, and you guys automatically know, like, wait a second, that's the guy from YouTube. And for those of you who go on Universal Battle or haven't been on Universal Battle for a while, I'll just explain to you right now. I have a miniature giant spider that I made in Universal Battle, and I put a fat green ogre on top of him, and that's King Koopa. I love it. I think it's perfect. I see it as Koopa. I don't see it as anything else but Koopa. But overall, I've been playing all these lists on Universal Battle. I might do some battle reports on YouTube for the Universal Battle games to explain my playtesting and all that, what's going on. But I've been doing it just mainly to playtest and kind of see like how armies work, how they don't work, or whatever. I have, since I've been playing with all these ETC lists, I have found a lot of things that I do like for Orcs and Goblins that I'm going to start incorporating in my army, period. But the next tournament coming up is Blood in the Sun. And Blood in the Sun, this is actually, this whole Blood in the Dojo game is the primer for Blood in the Sun. So, I am not bringing this list to Blood in the Sun. I'm telling you that right now. I like 2 A-Rocks, by the way, but I am not bringing this list. I do like the Nashers. Unfortunately, I don't think I can afford the Nashers. I'm really trying to find out how I can afford that. So I am trying to come up with a list that I like. And one of the things I was doing was I was limiting how many savages I bring. I kept on lowering and lowering and lowering the amount of savages I was bringing, and I honestly do find that bringing that big horde of savages really does change the amount of firepower I really have. And I was underplaying them a little bit, and I do feel like they deserve a fair second chance, especially after watching Joe Getsy play with them. I was just like, man, he's bringing this big block of 40 savages, and it's doing well for him, but I'm only bringing like 20, and it's not doing so hot for me. I'm getting rid of the impact hits armor, of course. It's nice. It gives me combat res and stuff like that, and it gives me the +1 toughness, which I like, but I'm probably going to have to switch that out. I play with a lot of the points. I do like the double goblins. I think I'm going to go... I try... my playtesting had me trying big gods, wilderness, little gods, all of it all around, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and try to see what I could do with that as well. I'm always constantly changing my list right now because of how much playtesting I'm doing and how much list talking about I'm doing or whatever, you know what I mean? Anyways, my MVP for this game is actually Warboss Dread Irontooth, and I know I just said his whole name. Warboss Dread, he fucked up that rock horn. He made sure that rock horn didn't get nowhere near me. His fucking wyvern said, and ate the fucking lead belchers, which led everybody else just to destroy the iron guts, and that just gave me the huge chunk of points to win this game. Besides that, I really didn't touch his tribesmen. I really didn't touch his man-eaters. I would have killed his man-eaters if given the proper opportunity to, but we were both playing that like, you stay away, you stay away, you stay away, and he didn't want to get flanked, but Koopa would have eventually flanked him. Anyways, besides that, Blood in the Sun's coming up. You guys are going to see some of the list I'm going to be playing for Blood in the Sun. I really am excited for the list that I currently have, which you will not see in the next 3 games, but it will be there eventually for Blood in the Sun. I think I have a really good list, and I really want to playtest that list, to be honest, because I'm looking forward to playing this list. It's a fun list for me to play, and I think it'll be very good and very competitive, especially against some really good armies out there, so I think that I'm looking forward to that. As for points, you guys can see I'm just going to go ahead and run through the points really quick. For points, Dread got 430 points this round, which is actually pretty decent. It's not the most points out of the round, though, unfortunately. Koopa only got 86 by killing a man-eater and a half or something like that. The A-Rock, guys, it's the ambulance. He's running through. He didn't let me do a whole video without him coming by. Anyways, I did find it really funny that I turn on Universal Battle, and I'm trying to get matchups for Universal Battle, whatever. And I met somebody the other night. I forgot what his screen name was, but he's like, "Hey, you're the guy from YouTube," and I go, "Yes, I am." And we're talking, and he goes, "Well, I hear an ambulance," which for me that means work. It doesn't mean McDonald's like your videos. I was like, that was like probably the best line ever. Oh man. Anyways, like I was saying, the A-Rock only racked up 313 points, but the Chicken Rock racked up 691 in the 3-game tournament. Baxter and Joe took a total of 147 points with all their evil eyes. The Goblins got 679 points this game, but a total of 751 total for the whole tournament. That was mainly because they helped kill that Shaman, that BSB, and that Bruiser unit, which was just, it pushed them to a shit ton of points. The Crossborgs took only 233 points, which wasn't much, which is pretty funny because the Crossborgs are about double the cost of those Goblins, and the Goblins got about triple the points. And the Savages took 616 this round, and they ended up taking 1184. They actually took more points in the whole tournament than any other unit. So that's pretty good. The Doom Diver only took 44 points this round and then got 120 points total. The Rock Lobbers only took 267. The Squig Hoppers, they took, hold on, let's see if they passed up the Savages. No, they only took 989. And then the Telephone Booth in round 1 still took second place with 994 points in Dwarven Holds. Holy shit, that Telephone Booth took too many points. In one round, that Telephone Booth took more than majority of my army in 3 games. That's insane. These points are also skewed for the fact that there was less amount of turns. It was only 4 turns a game versus 6, just due to time restrictions. But guys, I had a good time regardless. It was fun to see the tournament. It was fun to see my brother just like so livid about how well his army did, and that. And I heard Todd just got a new army. He was playing dwarves for a long time. Now he's playing vampire counts. And I heard Todd from my peripheral just saying, "Man, I never want to play your army again, Jesse." And that's a sign of my brother's list is just really good. So I think that it's awesome. Guys, I hope you enjoy this. Like I said earlier, I'm going to Greece. I need help getting there to Greece, guys. If you guys can, I do have a GoFundMe account right now. I do have some donations that people sent me through PayPal, but I still need quite a way to go to get to Greece. Help me, guys. Help me out if you can by donating anything. $5, $10, $20, whatever you guys think is a valid donation for your entertainment as I make these battle reports. And I try to get you out about 3 to 4 battle reports a week. I do actually get more games sometimes than I put out, but it's really hard to actually get them all out there at a decent pace because I do work and I do have a life sometimes. Not really. I don't really have a life, but I pretend like I do. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get to working out soon. Oh, actually, I got a little time left. But I'm going to get to working out soon. I hope you guys like this video. If you have, hit like, hit subscribe right now. As of this moment that I'm making this video, I'm going to tell you right now, I have, come on, 964 subscribers. So about just under, 36 more subscribers, and I'll get to 1,000, guys. Come on, hit the subscribe button if you haven't hit it already. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to actually getting to Greece, and I hope I can get to Greece with a list that I feel comfortable and that I like. That's one of the arguments that I keep having is the list they want me to play is like, this isn't me, dude. This is like somebody else playing. But, you know, I do have an understanding of the Greenskins army that I understand it and I appreciate very well, and I think I play it off very well. I know that some games I make big mistakes and it's more of a tactical error than it is a list error. But you know, he's saying it's a different beast with the ETC. So if any of you guys are in ETC actually from another country or whatever, maybe you should message me. Maybe we should see if we could get a game in Universal Battle and I could get your perspective on it. You don't have to give me your ETC list. I was just kind of curious on what your perspective is on it, and maybe we could talk a little bit about strategies and whatever. But yeah, besides that, guys, I hope you're enjoying this. Like, subscribe, leave comments down below, and I always respond when I can. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be me versus Len. Take care and peace. And I almost forgot, guys. So after beating little Fergus, I felt bad because I robbed him of $50. I could have let him beat me and just actually take first place, but then I would rob my brother. So as a trade-off, I told him I would help him push his YouTube channel out there so you guys can know what's coming out. So let me look it up really quick. I got me and this guy here. I'm just gonna put the link in the bottom. Anyways, I'm gonna put the link on the bottom. He got his own YouTube channel starting. It's not Ninth Age related. I think it's gonna be like based on some video games. For some reason, his first video is about him pushing G Fuel, which is a workout supplement, a pre-workout drink, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and put the link down there below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.